Welcome to All About Hopkinton, the HCAM original program highlighting the people and organizations that make Hopkinton a great place to live. I'm Mary Arnott, your host. Today we have with us Friends of the Hopkinton Committee. Welcome everybody. Ann Click, Dale Danny, Pat O'Brien. It's nice to see all of you. I'm glad you could be here.
Thanks for having us.
You know, there's so many wonderful events that take place in Hopkinton. You know, parades and get-togethers and showing fire trucks and the 300th anniversary. I mean, we're a very lucky town. I think we have a lot of groups of people that get together and sponsor these great events and put them on. But today we want to talk about the Friends of Hopkinton because they do a lot of good work too, and I know we got some special things coming up that they're working on. But I want to start with Ann, a little bit of history of the Friends of Hopkinton, if you don't mind.
No, I'm glad. I really want to. We, as a group, are trying to get our identity out there. So tonight is a great opportunity, another great opportunity for us to do that. And we are a group that started actually back at the end of the 275th. At the end of the 275th, there was seed money left over, and it was tucked away. And a small group of people got together in the 80s under the name of Civic Activities Committee, and we put on some family days back in the 80s with that seed money. And then it sort of went to sleep, and that group did. And then when the 300th was coming on board, we decided to reinitiate and regenerate, and we came together under a new name of Hopkinton Anniversary Celebration Committee. And we went through about 3 years in preparation and through the end of the anniversary under that name. And we did fundraising, and we did it through bottle drives. We had the train station down by the ice house. We sold merchandise from there. We did our bottle collections from there. We also did bottle collecting up at the storefront and parking lot up Colalas. And we put on a couple of historical house tours separate from the other big tour that did happen during the anniversary year. We had this gal come in, and she actually knew the historical architectural works that were in Hopkinton, so we had a couple of days of that. We had a couple of dances, we had a ham and bean supper, so we had fun doing that leading up to the anniversary. And we decided as a group to take on running the parade for the anniversary, and we did that as well, from soup to nuts. Paul Witcher was the chair of that committee, and we actually financed some of the parade groups that, the professional groups that were in the parade. So that being said, we are now on another venture. We are hoping that the town will get excited about doing a Hopkinton Family Day in the fall of 2017. I do want to mention that this same group is going to be giving the town seed money for the next anniversary of the town as well. So we're just working out the logistics, and that will come in the future, but we are planning to do that as well. So our new name now is the Friends of Hopkinton Incorporated. We've just decided that, we want to keep it nice and simple, and when people see us to say, oh, you're the Friends now, and we're very happy that we've changed our name, and we're a simple name to remember.
Well, thank you for all that good information on the background, because there were, like you say, different names and different events that have taken place that people might not connect with the Friends of Hopkinton, but that's all good information. Before we talk about Family Day or any of the events that your organization's planning, I wanted to ask a little bit about some membership and information about that. Maybe Dale, you could help us with talk about the membership of the group.
Yeah, it's been the same group of people since we started about 3 years before. Like Ann said, it's Rick and Sandy Solfaro, and they're kind enough to open their home to all of us, meeting at their house. Each month we meet the first Thursday of the month, and also it's Annie Marcy, Diane and Joe Regan, Ann Click, Pat O'Brien, Dave Nelson, Pat Lynch, Marlene Beatty, Janice and Kippy Robinson, John Gardner, Paul Witcher, Joanne Phipps, Bill Hamilton, myself, and we just had 2 new members join us, Colette and Dawn Cronin. So we're always looking for members. I think our average age is probably 70 years old. So we're looking
Sorry,
for...
none of you are that old. I don't believe that.
So it's nice to have younger people, anybody, any age. You don't have to, actually, you don't even have to live in Hopkinton. Paul Witcher grew up here and has since moved, but he's helped with, as Ann said, the parade. So it's free. You can contact any one of us to find out where Sandy Salfaro is in the phone book. She lives on Fruit Street. But if you see any of us along the street sometime and you want some information, we'd be glad to, tell you what we're doing. And like I said, the more that help, the easier the events will be to put on.
So there's no like membership dues or anything?
Nope.
It's just all of those great people with you getting together to talk about events that can be put on or
Yes.
and what you're going to do around the town.
Correct.
It's
Yep.
wonderful.
It's a
And
private
like you-
group.
Yep.
It's private. It's not associated with the town.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And like you said, you're always looking for more volunteers and more people who want to join. And message out there to the young people. It's a good group to join, and get involved and do some things with events and stuff for the town.
Right.
Speaking of which, I guess there's a really good event that's going to be coming up. And Pat, I'm going to turn it over to you for a while now to talk
That's good.
about,
Break that big news.
break the big news here.
Well, hopefully it's not new news to a lot of people because we have been out there, we have been advertising it, and the committee decided to call it Hopkinton Day, and that'll be held on September 16th, a Saturday, and that'll be the same day as Poly Arts. And we kind of wrestled with the idea of should we have our own day or not, and then we looked at September, and those weekend days get pretty filled up, and we're trying to think of what would be best for the families to come out, and would they have many Saturdays in September to come out. And so we figured we'd kind of piggyback on Poly Arts, because Poly Arts is the 16th. And that's what they did last year on the 300th. And it was successful for both Poly Arts and the 300th, as people seem to come in early for Poly Arts and then come on over to the 300th. So we decided on that date. And then as far as times go, we decided that we're going to start about 2 o'clock. And we're going to focus early on the kids. There's going to be those blow-up bouncy events, and there's going to be special events for kids, and that's going to be located behind the high school like it did during the 300th.
And kids of all ages can do those things, right?
Yes, exactly.
I'll be over there.
Exactly. And so that'll kind of go between 2 and 6. We'll kind of focus while it's light time and really before supper and that, and we can have that. But also during that time, behind the middle school, along the fields there, we're going to have a whole bunch of town groups participating in some events that they're going to sponsor. And Dale's going to speak to that in a little bit, but we've been reaching out to all kinds of committees and groups and organizations in town to let them have their faces known in town, like the Lions Club and such. And so they'll come out and they'll sponsor an event, whether it's some sort of a game or whether it's some sort of activity, but they'll do something. So they'll make that an activity that people can get involved in. And something that we do want people to know that this event's going to be really totally free to people that come in. Besides the food, unfortunately, we couldn't swing the food.
We can't give everything away. There's got to be a budget somewhere.
Exactly, but we're going to plan on the activities that people can participate in, as well as entertainment. And we've been talking with some local talent that we want to really shine on this event. And we'll have them participating throughout the day. And we've talked with several, and we're going to talk with a few more. It wasn't until just this past week that we solidified the school. We've been talking with the town manager, Mr. Kamalo, and we went before the Board of Selectmen several times, and we have their support on this event, and hopefully that's going to translate to them help supporting us in the fireworks department, which is going to be our biggest expense.
Oh, yes.
So the entertainment, before we reached out and nailed down, a lot of them, we wanted to make sure that the state was set. And we just found out this past week that, the state is good. So we have talked to some local talent. Steve Spector has been great. He's played on so many events here in Hopkinton. And he's not only going to agree to be playing, but he's also going to help us on the logistics of the sound and stage to make sure that we're able to get the best sound out there as possible. Little hidden jewel in Hopkinton that people may not know is from Hopkinton or haven't seen yet, Roger Cabler. And he's a comedian that has a huge resume of, he's been in movies, he's been on television, and most recently he's had a stand-up comedy act. And he's been touring around the area and does an incredible Robin Williams impersonation. And Roger, I saw him down at TJ's in Ashland about 2 months ago, and I heard he is going to be returning there again. So if anyone has a chance to go down to TJ's to see Roger's stand-up act, he is fabulous. And he's agreed to perform for us there. And there's some other Hopkinton artists that we're going to talk to with, and hopefully we'll get on board to help us on that event. So just a quick timeline, starting at 2.
Sure, go ahead.
The kids' rides are going to go to 2 to 4. We'll have those activities going on throughout the day. Hopefully we'll have the entertainment going on throughout the day. And we're going to go right up until dark. And then dark is when the fireworks get ready. And I hope the people are going to be really excited about the fireworks because we're bringing back the same company that did them for the 300th. And Paul Witcher, who Ann mentioned, was in charge of the parade, but he's also in charge of the fireworks last time. He's also running the fireworks this time. So he's spoken with that company. We're going to pretty much have the same show. We're going to set it to music, and we're going to have a great show. So just a couple things we just want to make clear that we're doing this kind of with Poly Arts on this day to both of us, hopefully to piggyback on the crowds that want to come into town and do that, and that it's not a fundraiser for any event. So any of the groups that come out here to participate, they're going to be doing it just to further this event as a community town event and not to raise money on their behalf. So it'd be a great event for people to come out during the day and into the night and just have a great time, really at no cost.
That's wonderful. I mean, it's incredible all of the work that's already gone into it, number one. And number two,
Yeah.
all of the things in the venues that you're going to have. And the only thing you're going to charge for is the food, and have lots of it, because I think that I think the more that people
Right.
hear about this great day, they're going to want to come out and just spend, Poly Arts and stay for the afternoon, like
Yeah.
you say, have fun with the kids and everybody, and then just stay for the fireworks and the music. I'm excited. Can we do it now? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to
And
wait.
I'll just give that quick add to that, Mary, is that we're also going to be contacting those food trucks that were there for the 300th. So a lot of because they had great food trucks. I mean, not just your average run-of-the-mill food trucks. They had high-end, and that's what we're going to try to bring back for this event. So those that like the food on the 300th are going to have a second chance at it.
That's wonderful.
And I think you want to add the lumberjack show.
You know, how could we forget? One of our members, Joe Regan, is well known in town. His tree company's been here for forever, and Joe for the past 2 years has been putting on a lumberjack contest, a woodsman show, and there's a circuit of lumberjacks, woodsmen, that go around and compete in these contests. All high-end type of stuff. That's very entertaining, which Joe has done these last couple of years. But last year he incorporated a amateur portion of it, letting Hopkinton residents come in and have a contest with the saw or the axe throw or other things that they do, which was very popular. So Joe's going to bring that part back because we don't have as much time this year as we have in the years past. So Joe's going to put on the amateur part of the Woodsman show, and that's going to be held that day. So we'll come up with more details on the exact activities or the exact contests that there'll be, so people at home can, hone up on their skills on with the saws and the axe and all that. But
Get mine out.
Yeah.
but it was very well received by the town the last 2 years. We know it's going to be very well received this year. Joe's very enthusiastic about this. He's looking forward to putting it on. The school is behind us, we're having an event up at the school. So we're looking forward to having that as part of our day.
All right, so at the time that we're recording this show, this is going to be called Hopkinton Day as the event.
Hopkinton Family Day?
Do we have a final name for it yet? It's still in the works. Okay, that's all right. And it's going to be September 16th, 2017.
That's correct.
And maybe if we're fortunate enough, it'll become an annual event.
That's
So
what I'm
we'll
hoping
see.
for.
Yes.
But so it takes a lot of support to put this all together.
It does.
What are we talking about in terms of town support?
Well, we, as Pat mentioned, we have spoke with the town manager a couple of times, and he is definitely behind our efforts. And we got support from the Board of Selectmen on 2 occasions. We have already spoken with
You've
them.
already been in front of the Board of
We have.
Selectmen.
We
Okay,
have.
Town manager, great. Okay.
But we need further support from the residents of Hopkinton, because we are going to ask for funds for the fireworks. And I don't know how that will be approached by the town, but we do know now that we can finance that particular part of the day.
Okay.
And I think people really loved the fireworks
Yeah.
at the anniversary. So we want to start this off with them as well.
Is there any potential for some kind of fundraising or anything, or just
We're just hoping
donations?
that it may
Yeah.
be part of the town meeting,
Okay.
actually.
But we will be going to businesses as well to
Yes.
donate.
Yeah.
Because the bouncy houses have a cost. We had a meeting in February, and we invited every committee and club that we could think of, nonprofits, the 7 churches in town. We invited the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, the PTA, Lions Club, the Mums Club, the Historical Society, Hopkinton Center for the Arts, Hopkinton Education Foundation, the Senior Center, the Women's Club, the Garden Club, the Housewives of Hopkinton, the Friends of the Library, the Friends of Greyhound, 4-H, the Running Club, and the school. So Josh Hanna represented the schools. So we had almost 35 people
That's wonderful.
come together, and we asked all of them, go back to your committees, and we'll have another meeting March 7th, and it's going to be at the high school in the cafeteria at 7 p.m. So we're asking those groups again to come back. And anybody else in town that has ideas that would like to participate, come and join us that night. And we're asking each group to take something on themselves. So a ring toss, or a dunk tank, the bouncy houses. And some of those activities will have costs, some won't. So anything with a cost, these are all nonprofits, so they don't have cash in their back pocket either. So if they want to do, say, a dunk tank and it costs $500 to rent, then we'll go to some businesses and ask, could you donate $100, 5 businesses? Or, if there's somebody out there that would like to donate, please step forward or contact us. But so that it won't cost anybody anything, so the kids can come in and have a good time.
Well, we have a very generous number of organizations in town and groups and individuals. I mean, the more the word gets out on this and everything that's going into it, those donations are going to come rolling in, because it just sounds like a great event. Now, you mentioned March 7th. Was there something else you wanted to talk about there in terms of what that event's going to do? That's a preparation kind of thing, or?
Yeah, that's a meeting that, like we've had before, earlier,
Yep.
and we're asking organizations to come. We had the initial meeting, and they kind of, we kind of gave them what we wanted to do, and we didn't really get. They were going to go back to their committees with feedback on what events they want to do. So they're going to come back this meeting along with hopefully some new organizations to let us know, we'd like to do this on that date. And, just so things aren't duplicitous or things that we're not able to do because of field conditions and stuff like that. So we'll work with them, find out what they want to do, and hopefully, we all can work together. And like Dale said, we'll help out as much as we can if there's something that they need help with or they can't afford.
The enthusiasm has been great. I've been getting emails back from the organization saying, yeah, we're in. So we just can't wait to see what they're going to do when we get together in March.
Now, can individuals come there as
Yes,
well and maybe
absolutely.
say, hey, I'd like to jump on the bandwagon, and where can you use my time, talent, or money? Or so you don't have to be part of any organization, although in Hopkinton it's hard not to be part of something. It's a great community. But, you know, you can just come out on your own, March 7th in the cafeteria at the high school, right?
Yes.
That's right.
7 o'clock it's
Yep.
going to start?
Yep.
Okay. Are there going to be events or things leading up to this grand day that we're going to have?
Well, we're going to continue to get the word out, and one of the things we are going to do is we're going to go back to collecting bottles, and it's going to be the first Saturday starting in April through I think the fall. Well, probably August and I want the tab lady who's out there. I hope you're out there because we're going to start doing collecting. We had this gal who, when we did the collecting 2 years ago, showed up with tab, massive tab, and we just got a big kick out. In fact, we didn't realize tab was still on the market, but it is. And then we're going to have our presence at the marathon, and we'll also be at the summer concerts. So
Now, where would the bottle drives take place? Are these-
at the recycling center.
Okay, so
So
you've
the
got
fir-
one Saturday of every month.
We've already
I mean,
picked up on it. Yeah,
Okay,
we've already
all right.
signed up for it.
I'm already clicking on the back of my head. I had a whole
Okay.
bunch of bottles I was going to return to the store today, and
Oh,
I
no.
didn't take them back. They're
Good.
yours. I
Yeah.
got
Okay, good. The
I will
first
save all
Saturday
of them.
in April.
A nickel
Okay.
a piece, but they'll add up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going through my pictures this week, and I found us in 2 years ago, right around now, it was in March, in a snowstorm at the ice house collecting bottles, and we had a lot of cans and bottles. I have it on film.
I think
Yeah.
they raised over $15,000 in cans and bottles during the course of,
5,000.
was it 5,000?
5,000.
Yes.
But that's a lot of
15
bottles.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
a-
lot of cans and bottles.
Yeah, that definitely is.
Yeah.
Nickel. Well, that's wonderful. Okay,
Yeah.
and you mentioned a table at the
At Marathon.
Marathon.
I haven't signed up for it, but we're going to sign up for that, and then we want to be at the concerts
Summer
during the summer.
concerts.
And that will give people an opportunity to, again, know who we are, and we may have some items left over from our merchandise sales. We actually do have a few things left over that the town may want, and we may come up with some other things that will help us out and get the theme out there for the family day as well.
Okay, so that's actually when you talk about a theme, it's the whole family thing, community thing,
Right.
everybody coming together.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
That's what
exactly
everybody
right.
commented on for the 300th. It brought people that lived in town, grew up in town, came back for that as well. And it brought the whole town together, young and old. And I think everybody came off of that day saying, wow, we should do this again. And that's what we're hoping to bring the town together again. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun, a lot of work, but if you get a lot of organizations pitching in, I think it could be more successful.
Well, and our town is growing.
Yeah.
It'll be a wonderful opportunity for people who have just moved in
Yeah,
or
right.
people who moved in the last few months to come on out, meet people, enjoy yourself, be part of the community. I
Right.
think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
And this will give those groups that have worked so hard behind the scenes an opportunity for people to meet them.
Yes.
I keep thinking about, when people come together and work together, it's all positive. It just works, and we want it to be an all-inclusive day for everybody. So we're going young to old activities.
Wonderful.
We're hoping that
Well,
will happen.
I wish we could talk about it a whole lot more, but we're running out of time, believe it or not. So I want to make sure, are there any last minute points or anything that you want to say quickly before we have to close the show today?
I think just in March. You want to talk about March?
Yep. Just
Yeah.
they'll talk again
Plan
about
for the
the
March
day
7th
March. It's
event,
really
yeah.
important because as we're getting closer to the date, and we need to know who's going to be coming, what they're going to be doing. So
Yeah, March 7th at the high school cafeteria, which is in the basement, the bottom floor, at 7 p.m. We'd love to see as many people that haven't come before, to come and join us, see what we're all about, see if you can pitch in and help us. And then the organizations that we did contact or we've been trying to contact, please come and bring your ideas because we need help.
Well, and I'd like to just say that, you know, for people who maybe are part of other organizations and they don't have time to add another organization to their list of membership, that's all right. You can still come out on March 7th, look for maybe some small way that you can help, you know, or an idea that you have, like you say, even just contributing an idea. We'll be looking for the donations and people to get involved, short-term, long-term. It's very flexible, right?
Right. And we have a face page?
Facebook. Yeah, I'm going to mention that in the closing. Yeah.
Okay.
Make sure we get the message out there.
So it'll be a two-way communication if they use the face page.
Absolutely. Well, Ann Click, Dale Danahy, and Pat O'Brien, thank you so much for being on All About Hopkinton.
Thank you.
If you'd like to learn more information about the Friends of Hopkinton, visit their website and find them on Facebook. For everyone here at HCAM, I'm Mary Arnott, and thank you for watching this episode of All About Hopkinton.
Welcome to Hopkinton Coffee Break.
A very special dessert done by a woman from Hopkinton that I've started using regularly.
We had your residents participating both as vendors and as shoppers, and that was so much fun. Real Hopkinton Housewives, if you're on Facebook, you will have a blast. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers, guys.
It's been a great,
Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
See you guys.
Bye.